Hey guys, this is Anthony from VR Roundtable, and I am playing Driveclub VR for PlayStation VR. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to adjust my view. I'm going to go up a little bit and back a little bit. Up, maybe a little bit closer, like right here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start. So guys, this is the PlayStation VR demo disc. This is Driveclub on the demo disc. I do not have the full version of Driveclub right now, but I wanted to try playing this in a Let's Play just to kind of get a feel for it. I haven't done any sit-down PlayStation VR Let's Plays since I've added external cameras to cover me playing the game. I'm recording the PlayStation VR footage directly to my PlayStation 4, but it doesn't allow you to also have external cameras. You have to go through like some type of Elgato capture card or something like that. But I figured out another way to do it, and it works pretty good, and now I have external camera coverage, so you can kind of see what I'm saying and see me moving around in my chair and any of that type of stuff, and then also get a pretty good view of the gameplay. So I just kind of wanted to test this out real quick. And Driveclub VR, this is an interesting game to talk about, because you got really polarizing views of this game. Basically, you have some people on one side of the coin will say, oh my god, it's so ugly, this is a travesty on PlayStation VR, how could this game look so crappy, it's a pixelated mess, it looks like I'm racing around a Nintendo 64 track. You'll have people that say that, and then on the other side of the coin, you'll have people that will rant and rave and say Driveclub VR might be one of the best games on PlayStation VR altogether. So, you know, where is the answer? Like most things, the answer is probably somewhere in the middle. Crashing is something that should be avoided, because I'll tell you what, the very first time that I played Driveclub VR, I played it for, well, I was playing this demo, and I played it for a while, and I was doing this time trial track. And I just kept driving on it and driving on it. You can actually spend quite some time doing this time trial. And when I was done playing it, I was perfectly fine when I played the game. But when I was done playing it, I had a headache like you would not believe. I really had legitimate motion sickness, and I actually felt kind of like crap for like 3 hours after playing it, which was really unfortunate. And I didn't touch Driveclub VR for the longest time, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to play something that makes me actually physically get ill. But I decided to give it another try, and the next time I played it, I was perfectly fine. No motion sickness whatsoever. And every time I've played it since then, no motion sickness whatsoever. I can play it just fine, and everything works great. So the graphics, you know, a lot of people will talk about how the graphics are kind of lackluster in this game. I mean, it depends on the way you're looking at it. When you're actually racing in the game and you're moving very fast, you're not really looking at a lot of the roadside details. And so if the roadside details are a little blurry and pixelated, it's not that big of a deal, because you're trying to focus in on the actual road itself, and you're trying to stay on the road. And there are some graphical touches that will come into the game every once in a while, especially like the sunlight. When the sunlight hits your windshield, and you can notice that your windshield is kind of dirty, because the sunlight will hit your windshield in a certain way, and you'll see smudges of dirt on your windshield, and you'll think, man, I need to clean off my windshield. My windshield looks horrible. And then the other thing from a graphical standpoint is you have birds that fly across the road. You have butterflies that are flying around. You have these flower petals. Like I'm going through a certain area where there's hundreds of flower petals blowing around. Like right here, all these little flower petals that are floating around in the wind. And all this stuff that's on the track that gets kicked up into the air because you're moving along the track so quickly, all of it adds a little bit of extra juice to the overall situation and makes it just a better immersive experience when you have all these little things that are blowing across the track and the sunlight that goes through your windshield and all of that sort of thing. So graphically speaking, I actually like this game. If you stop somewhere, you know, like if I stop right here and I look at these houses and I look at that car, obviously it does look a little Nintendo 64 might be pushing it. It's more Dreamcast. It's kind of like you're driving through a Dreamcast world, or maybe PlayStation 2. You know, it might be somewhere around there, but I think the visuals are pretty good. And the control, you know, let's talk about the control for a second. You know, I'm using a regular DualShock 4 controller, and I'm basically using the left thumbstick for steering, and it's the right trigger for acceleration, left trigger is brake. I'm not using brake very much. I usually kind of just take my finger off of the right trigger to do a brake instead of actually physically braking. But the control is really smooth. And you can really see the track ahead of you. You have your peripheral vision. I have a side mirror here. I have my rear view mirror there. And the control is very, very nice and flows really well. I'm actually quite impressed with this game. Like I said, I'm only playing the demo here. I do not have the full version, but I do have a membership to GameFly where they send me games. And right now I have Eagle Flight and Robinson the Journey, and I'm actually going to send back Eagle Flight, and I want to try to get possibly this game, Driveclub VR. I also want to get PlayStation VR Worlds, and I want to get Battlezone back and play Battlezone a little bit as well. So this is one of the games I'm going to try to get on GameFly, and then hopefully I'll be able to do some Let's Plays of the full version of the game with some of the different tracks and stuff that you have. But I really like Driveclub VR. I don't think it's too bad at all. Okay, I'm gonna, oh, you don't want to crash though. That is one thing. I'm gonna go ahead and stop here and back out of this. Let's see here. Oh, this puts me back into the car. I don't want to do that. Let's go ahead and quit. Okay, so now guys, I'm about to get into a race. This is the other thing that they give you on the demo disc. They give you a time trial, and they also give you the race. This is my car here. Let's go ahead and open the door and get into the driver's seat. Okay, so I'm ready to go here. I'm going to adjust my view up a little bit and back a little bit. Like right about here is good. And so I'm going to be racing against 7 other drivers. You can see that it's sunset, the time of day, and you can see how the light is coming through my windshield here. And the windshield is a little bit dirty. It's kind of smudged. The sunlight's coming through. It's a really nice graphical effect. And I'm going to go ahead and start the race. So I don't remember where this race is located, but you're basically kind of driving through this town. I'm going to guess it's somewhere in Europe. Germany, actually. I think this might be in Germany. And I'm racing against these other cars, and certainly the graphics is one of the biggest negatives people have with this game, Driveclub. I actually think it's pretty good. I understand that this is a lower resolution headset and that you're trying to deliver this game so that you're comfortable and you do not look at the sunlight coming through my dirty windshield. That looked really cool. You're trying to show this racing game off and not have people get sick, and so you need kind of have a pretty good solid frame rate, and so they have to lower some of the graphical settings to try to achieve this, and I think they did a pretty damn good job, all things considered. I really feel pretty well immersed into this world. The only thing that could really improve this is if I was in some type of racing cockpit and I had a steering wheel and it had vibration, and if everything was tracked, that would be super cool. One thing people talk about is when you look at objects, whoops, did not want to crash there. When you look at objects in the distance, they're very blurry, they're very pixelated. Like for example, I'm trying to look at that orange car and that red car that's in front of me, and they are, you know, somewhat pixelated, and there is screen door effect, and they are a little bit blurry, but I'm okay with this. I believe the trade-off of having a really good racing game like this and being in VR and being completely immersed in this world, I like the trade-off. One thing I will say though, I've been playing this and it seems like I've sunken into my chair. Like now I'm like a little 3-year-old kid that's driving a car, and I don't know how that happened. Somehow I guess you kind of you settle down into your seat, and now I'm trying to look above the steering wheel to actually see where the hell to drive. But this is still a cool game. I definitely want to get my hands on the full version of this game and try it out. If the full version was $19.99, if it was on sale for $20, I'd probably just go ahead and buy the full version. But I'm going to try to get it on GameFly and hopefully be able to check it out that way. But this has been Anthony for VR Roundtable, and we're just doing these different Let's Plays, and I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of a look here at Driveclub VR from the PlayStation VR demo disc. And make sure to like the video. If you could subscribe to our channel, that would be awesome. Leave a comment if you could on the YouTube page, and that pretty much does it. Looks like I'm in first place here. I might as well finish off this race and see if I can take first place. It's really easy, this track that you're on. I think they pretty much make it almost impossible for you not to finish in first place. But you know, it's a cool demo. If you have a PlayStation VR and if this made you feel nauseated, I recommend maybe giving it a second try and trying it out a little bit more. And so when the demo's over, they kind of show you this external view, and you get to see the cars drive by, and you see the sun setting over the bay here. I believe this is in Germany, and it's pretty cool. Driveclub VR. And we'll see you guys next time. Take it easy. Later.